Uh-oh, Funko f***ed up. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to the Gastlecast. We're glad you're there. You get the right time. We had an all-time high. Funko's hot toys and charms don't mind. Stick around, like, comment, and be sure to subscribe because life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. Hey, life's a little better when you answer Chris and Heather. And remember, at these hell walls, we are together. Yes.
Okay, so we wanted to do a follow-up video on the Fun on the Run event, and Funko made a mistake that made it super easy for us to cover this again. Should we talk about it now, or should we talk about like the Fun on the Run stuff and then talk about the craziness that happened?
No, let's talk about where they screwed up.
Okay, so Funko basically went live today, and what was happening is they were sort of like wrapping up the day from Arkansas onto Oklahoma. They're going to Oklahoma next in 2 days. They didn't realize that it was live.
And they started throwing around some very dirty words.
Yes! And this makes me so happy because this is totally something I would do, number one. And number two, it shows you that like there's real that goes on behind the scenes at Funko, and like the people that work there are human and they cuss just like just about everybody else.
Of course. Well, they're having fun and they're doing their thing, and they got caught off guard and they started dropping F-bombs. They dropped an F-bomb. Did you hear it?
I did, and I love it. I've watched this video like 10 times
So
already.
here it is. Watch this.
See you in Broken Arrow. Oh, guys. Guys, my mind's up. Come back.
Is that live?
And of course I did beep out all the curse words because we cannot have curse words on the channel, otherwise we'll get in trouble. So I didn't want to do that, but I'm sure you can find this video all over social media now because it is being shared everywhere.
So the person who posted this, it looks like it's a new account. It doesn't say new account, but it looks to be one because they only have one post and they have just a handful of followers. But their name is Mojo6366.
Yeah, so go and check out their Instagram. I don't even know if this is like a real account or just a burner account to like share this information.
I think it is.
I think it's just like a burner account, but you can go and watch this video uncut over on Instagram on their account.
I love it. So in the caption it says, Funko, I love you, but the internet's forever.
Oh, that's awesome. Basically, this whole Fun on the Run thing has been great. Like in terms of Funko handling it, selling the boxes, everything seems to be going really well.
Yeah.
So the management-wise, things are fine. However, Funko has not had enough entertainment. They didn't really have enough to make people want to go to the Fun on the Run bus. Now they're at a point where they can't sell out all their boxes every day. So they're actually selling more boxes to individuals. So some people are walking away with like 8 boxes.
Yeah, and people are getting really upset about this, but Funko's whole point is to sell out of these boxes. Yeah. And I think we've said it before, but I'll say it again. I really think that they shot themselves in the foot by not having enough variety in these boxes and by showing us all the contents prior to this event. Yeah. And not only that, but the lack of entertainment, the lack of experience is a huge turnoff, at least for me. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's a turnoff to me because I want to go somewhere, I want to hang out, I want to not be stuck in a very hot parking lot. If I'm going to travel and buy this box that I don't even think is that great, I want some sort of entertainment, whether it be games or giveaways or a stage show or just some sort of fun.
That's sort of what was being said at the beginning of this whole thing, that they would have like giveaways and games and stuff, but the giveaways turned out to be like hats, stickers, and stuff like that, just throwaway items, t-shirts as well, which is fine, that's okay, and Funko is handling this pretty well, but this should have been a lot grander than when it turned out to be. If you went and you had a good time, that's awesome. We actually talked to a couple friends over the last couple of days who had gone. Yeah. And they had a good time. Everything worked out for them. One person actually bought 2 boxes. They got Batman and Robin, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we talked to a couple of our friends and they actually really enjoyed it, but everybody that we talked to lived 4 hours or less away from the event, and they enjoyed it, but they said that they'd do it again if it were close enough.
Exactly. So it really wasn't worth it, especially for somebody like us to drive there for 10 hours, as we mentioned in the previous video. 13 hours if you add all of Heather's pooping. But it sounded like that people got there, stood in line, bought their box, and left. That was it.
Yeah.
Some people told us that they were hanging out with fellow Funko fanatics. Some people are saying they met new friends while they were there. And that's awesome. You definitely have to find the positives in a very situation like that one. So saying you made friends, I'm glad to hear that, because if you didn't make any friends and you drove 10 hours, 20 hours to get there, that would have sucked. And it's hard to justify that much time on the road or on an airplane in order to go to an event that has a box that's very mediocre, because that's exactly what this box was. I'm just glad to see that it was managed well, because this means that Funko can do this, and hopefully in the future they'll do it on a grander scheme.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about this is that Funko has now come out to say that the Funko, like the bus situation, will not be happening at San Diego Comic-Con. Instead, they will be inside the con. So there will not be a bus.
Yeah, which I find very interesting. It's sort of weird.
Well, they probably just wanted to find an easier way of doing it. They already have booths in there. They got that whole Funkoville. Yeah. Why go through the whole thing of having a bus outside and then they got to find a place to do it? Like, I totally understand why they're doing what they're doing, but I wouldn't have made a stop at San Diego. Like, what's the point? Yeah,
I would just say, well, now you guys can go into the con because that's it. But they made you believe that it might be at a Walmart in San Diego
or
initially.
Something, you know? Like something special. But basically, San Diego Comic-Con is going to be a way for them to get rid of all of the things they cannot get rid of.
Yeah.
So they'll have all those extra boxes there, however many there will be, and you'll be able to have your chance at buying one of the boxes while you're at the event. But this has turned into more or less a flipper's paradise, or should I say that a possible flipper's paradise, because people are having a hard time getting rid of these things.
There is this whole thing online right now where people are just going crazy. So you're seeing posts of like people with like multiple boxes. Number one, like when Funko isn't selling out of those boxes in a quick enough time, they're upping the limits for people. So initially, today at least, from today's firsthand experience, people who were there, it was originally 1 per person, and then they turned it to like 6 per person because of the lack of people that I guess were there.
A lot of people didn't show up because they know that it's a mediocre event. It's not that great.
Yeah, and I mean, how many Funko collectors do you have in Arkansas? But the thing is that people see people with a lot of these boxes and assume the worst. They're like, oh, they're a flipper. And that's not necessarily what it means. I mean, if I had the ability to go to one of these events and I knew 6 or 7 people that wanted a box and couldn't get a box, I would say, hey, you want a box? I have the ability to get this many. Here it is.
So you're buying retail to help people. You're hunting to get. Okay.
Yeah, so these people might be helping their friends. These people might be flipping, but I mean, it's theirs to do what they want with it. Do we personally agree with flipping? No. We don't do it. We don't like it, but it's always going to happen, and we've just come to accept that fact. There's no reason to be nasty to people because they're flipping product. Now, if they're being nasty to other people, that's a completely different story. But if someone drives to go to this event, they pay their money, they get their boxes in a fair way, then okay, it's theirs, they can do what they want with it.
It is what it is, right?
You know?
Exactly. Again, if they drive that far and then they're willing to drop hundreds of dollars to buy all those boxes. I mean, you're talking, you buy 10 boxes.
That's over $1,000.
Exactly. I would have to have people lined up, like friends, willing to purchase them before I would go and spend that kind of money. A lot of people are doing this and they're trying to flip these boxes and it's not happening. Like, it's not working out for them. There's going to be people stuck with these boxes.
Yeah, but as long as Funko makes their money, it's cool. There was one specific picture though that was really getting me agitated because I feel like people were being very unfair without knowing the circumstances. So it was a picture of a guy at the Nashville event with like stacks of boxes, right? I talked to somebody who was there. That person was like trading for those boxes of people who had actually stood in line or handing them cash for those boxes. It's not like Funko said, well, here you go, you're the last guy here, take them all. It was just, he offered money or Pops to people, and he got them fair and square. And people were being so harsh.
Right. Well, that's just the name of the game, unfortunately. If you have a ton of these boxes and you're putting them in your car at the event,
Obviously,
somebody's going to take a picture. It's going to be shared all over the internet, and it's going to have its own story. That picture is going to tell its own story, and the real story is the guy traded stuff in order to get the boxes. So stop your whining. Okay, so we started this video with Funko's hilarity because that was hilarious.
I loved it. Thank you, Funko, for being real, and I'm so sorry that it happened, but I'm glad that we got that.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And then also we talked about the Fun on the Run event. Funko, you need to improve. Next year, we'd like to see better entertainment, better boxes. How about if they had, let's say, 25 figures that were packed into random boxes, and that piece is like limited to 25, and that happens like every single stop on the tour.
So every stop they have an LE25,
something like that. I'm just throwing a number up there, whatever the limited piece would be.
That would entice people. An actual event would entice people rather than just standing in line, possibly getting a hat or t-shirt, taking a picture with Freddie, who's like, he's fine.
It's the Walmart version of Freddy, literally.
Great value.
The great value, great value Freddy Funko.
Think that this was a good start. I love that they were organized. I love that they're traveling to people. I think that's very, very cool because Funko HQ is in Washington and Hollywood is in California. So how often do we see Funko closer to the East Coast, which is really, really cool. So I do want to say, Funko, thank you for doing this. I think it is a lot of fun, but I do feel like it could be improved upon.
Yeah, so the Fun on the Run event was meh. The box was meh, but it's cool to see Funko doing something a little bit different. And we would like to know what you guys think about Fun on the Run so far. Nothing too crazy has happened yet, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be mediocre all the way through until they get to San Diego. But we'd like to know your thoughts and more in the comment section down below.
In every video, we like to shout out to some of our incredible patrons from Patreon. In this video, we'd like to shout out to
Kevin Tunenberg, Marky Tony, FunkoFan626, Moondoggy16, Richard Perez, Calvin Lee, Derek, Tina Maldonado, Joshua G, and Michael Petrino. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. We appreciate all of our patrons. You guys rock. Thank you for staying until the very end of the video. We really appreciate all of your support. Remember, as always, we're hard together, yes. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.